Wow, it says I'm live. Okay, so I'm doing slightly different this time, Professor Watanabe. I gonna try and cut back on some of the space I'm using on my MacBook Pro for shooting videos. So anyway, I thank you so much for being so succinct and so clear and being, I think, very, very, very honest in our industry's kind of current dynamic and how we got there, and having some really, I think, solid and respectful ideas for what the future would be. Um, so, just a quick wanting to make sure that I'm covering all my bases in this little period, my last little time we have together for Cinema 111. On my side, I think the big step for me in the experience in class was to awaken to the fact that as a passionate, creative person who has been in this kind of corporate identity for so long, that there is a creative lion inside that I kind of needed to wake up a little bit, needed to jab it and say, time to wake up now. Um, and as an Aries rabbit, sometimes those two energies conflict, and it's got to be now, 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 and it doesn't always happen that way. So, in that respect, for me, with respect to Bay House, the series, we're still looking at a January kind of platform release in Houston. I've not gotten my dates yet, but it's the holiday, so it may be February, and you know we're talking to the local folks here in Florida and our other relationships that we're you know working on this campaign, our road trip that we're going to do with Bo before. So I think that in that respect, the Bay House the series has a certain urgency and a certain relevance to it, as long as I can convince well, when I convince Bo that a series based on these characters makes sense from the mental health aspect. So to me, I think part of the ideology that's kind of starting to flow through me is what is the order of that, and how do I keep a clear chain of title and all those things as a business person. I got to make sure I'm doing, because I've had two more independent films approach me that are eh, okay. I watched one all the way through, and the other one I kind of stopped because I thought, oof, just nothing I really want to be connected to, because it didn't have that quality of a really well made film. And there's that part of me that says, well, stop dinking around with the unprepared folks and start focusing in this space where it makes sense. So there's a part of me that says maybe the distribution design that I had originally would be better served to be a part of something maybe a little bit bigger. And then comes to me the idea of, well, what do I call the thing? And um, so so I've been kind of running the idea through my mind of actually stepping into a role. A friend of mine, her father-in-law was Anthony Quinn, and she was married to Anthony Quinn's son for many years until he passed away at 50. Um, and we were at an event, and she introduced me to some friends as the next great mogul. And I was very touched by that, and I didn't quite understand why she would introduce me that way, but I kind of realized that I've kind of stepped into this role. Maybe mogul is not the right word, but at least I think I'm trying to step into more of a to bring the good sense of business affairs into a creative business that becomes a well-funded enterprise that is more than just the Bay House, the series, or more than just a distribution platform, and finding the resources to acquire the talent that I think we both know that sometimes sometimes the whole the Disney Fox merger created a lot of displaced people who all have address books, who all have knowledge, who all have experience and relationships. It would be really, really healthy and helpful for a beginning entrepreneur, a startup production and distribution platform that really kind of found the way to honor our industry as opposed to the Scott Stuber dynamic, where I'm this uber charismatic guy who, let's look back at my Universal track record. Ooh, not so much, but here I've got this money. Let me whiz through this on these vanity things for me. It's not called TXS; it's called STX. So you got to imagine there's a lot of ego, and there's a lot of immaturity, I think, that comes with that ego. And sometimes our industry attracts, because of the bright light and the nature of the bright light, we attract some people who see the equation with that lopsided fulcrum, where they want to put the fulcrum over here, so they're more like this and not so much like this. And I think that there's, at least in my imagination, at least in my vision, and at least in what I want to do, there's this ideology that the fulcrum's in the middle. And uh, I think I've come up with a company name and a company identity. Now it's just a question of finding the resources to grow the Bovee United business from a small little distribution idea with these resources and bring in the production side. So I go back to when Bob Sharon had said to me, that his big mistake that he made with Popcorn Pictures was that he just wanted to release movies. And I can still remember our lunch. Those words. I don't remember what I had for lunch that day. I can't even remember. I don't know, maybe we met at the Magic Castle. I don't remember. Um, when I come back to town, hopefully you'll let me take you and your lovely wife to spouse to the Magic Castle for dinner. It would be an honor and a pleasure. So Bob had said that part of the flaw that he had in building this little distribution platform that he started with $8 million was that it was just a distribution platform. And running into all of these chains of title that aren't clear, all this content that I've already told some of my producing friends, look, I'm not really interested in releasing movies that I'm not proud to put my name on. I'm not going to do that anymore. I think it dilutes my value, it dilutes my legacy. And yes, my legacy was connected to a large, very, very big distribution company. But I still believe that the people that I used to do business with, that are still able to do business, would expect from me, having had made sure that all of the business affairs aspects, all the creative aspects, all that would be a worthwhile and safe for them. So I think for me, Bay House the series is a component, and then there's probably people that, for the right overture financially, that I could bring in to say, this is what I want to do. It's got to meet these very specific goalposts of quality and authenticity and diversity, making sure that we're honoring the conversation and not being the checkbox. Oh, well, we've got our token this or our checkbox that. And so I think that's kind of where Cinema 111 has taken me this semester. And I would so love to take it in person with other people sitting in a classroom and just listening to your wisdom and your experience, and kind of growing that next generation of people who truly understand this business and truly want to be leaders in the business and want to listen and want to, create something special, the way that those amazing men and women did over 100 years ago, when we didn't have the technology and the communications and all the things that we have today. So I think in that respect, to wrap this up, I don't want to take much more of your time, sir, but this is our final project. And I just think that you sprinkled a little bit of gas on my Aries fire spark. And I thank you for that so much. And putting together a business that is more than just a distribution platform, more than just a one title thing, is the direction. Of course, School, also very important. I've decided to go earn the AA degree at Valley College for film production. I think it would be helpful. And then moving into the 4-year university and then a graduate studies at um, the school at USC. So, Peter Stark. Anyway, oh, my baking is done for the holidays, sir. Merry Christmas. I hope you all have a fantastic holiday. I will miss my Cinema 111 class, but I hope I can still participate in some of those other Tuesday afternoon events. And when I get back to LA, I'm working on selecting classes now and would love to take more of your classes and Professor Rodriguez's classes to get closer to that AA as quickly as possible. So thank you, sir. Bovee from Florida. Yeah, get the baking up. Sorry for the bad lighting. Ooh, that is terrible. And cut.